Waiting for Kane. Please. Come on. Fingers crossed. Come on, Kane. You can do it. Just waiting for him to answer. Here we go. Yes. We're on. Yes.
Ah, goodness me.
Wow. No, now, mate, we can't leave people hanging now. 20 minutes, bro.
Oh, sorry about that.
You got to just tilt your camera the other way because you're like this way, bro.
Oh,
you're sideways, bro. Yeah, if you turn your iPad that way.
Yeah?
Yeah, bro. Cheers, hey. Look, a long time no see, bro.
Yeah. Good to see you. It's a bit late here for that, though. It's my bedtime.
I was going to say, I'm ready for bed as well, but, mate, look, first of all, I don't want to get too serious, but welcome to Warner's Corner. I appreciate you coming. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And the reason behind Warner's Corner is because they named it Warner's Corner, so I've just gone with it. But look, let's get to some serious stuff, mate. We have to keep making sure that people are staying safe. Obviously, both our countries are in total lockdown, and credit to your Prime Minister who went early and has done the right thing and flattened the curve. I think it's working out very well here, but we've got to keep making sure that people are asking why we're not playing IPL, why can't it happen, but obviously with the lockdown laws in India as well, it's not just India, in Australia and New Zealand, it's everywhere in the world. So what's been happening over there, mate? What have you been up to? I've seen you've been giving some slip catches to that little dog of yours.
Yeah, well, I was going to try and turn the camera out, but...
Do you know how to do that?
I'll see. So she's...
well asleep.
Yeah, she's been practicing all day, so...
One eyed open.
I'll let her sleep. No,
it was funny. That was funny. I liked it. I really liked it.
Yeah, that was early on, actually, in lockdown. But like you say, Paul, it's been just an incredible time in our lives, really, isn't it? From a few weeks ago, playing a cricket against each other to sort of the whole world being in lockdown, and everybody's in such a different situation with large countries, smaller countries, and the spread sort of varied so much. So we've been very fortunate here in New Zealand, and like you say, our Prime Minister's been very proactive with their approach, but I know for a fact that all countries will be trying their best to eliminate this thing as quickly as possible, and then hopefully sport, hopefully IPL are not too far away, but there's definitely a goal first up, and that's to stop this thing.
That's what I was talking to Boovie last night about. He joined me on this, and I was asking if his dog did the same thing, and he said he's having troubles with obeying his wife's instructions to clean the floors, let alone get out there and try and be busy with his dog.
Yeah. There's always slightly different challenges, even in lockdown, isn't there?
Well, they are the challenges, aren't they, that we face? We have to actually do some stuff around the house for once.
What have you been doing? Around the house, I just see you've been taking videos.
Well, mate,
it's improved a lot, I think.
Well, it just showed like it took you 20 minutes to join a live Instagram. Now, for us to get you to join TikTok might take an eternity.
No, I'm not on that, but yeah, it's my first live. Was it live Instagram?
Instagram, yeah. Did you not see my TikTok today?
No.
It's gone viral. It's gone viral. I can't believe it.
Is it?
Actually, I'll try and get it up on my iPad here. I'll just show you. Here we go. I'll show you right here. Do you see Isla's impressed?
Yeah. She's the only one. Yeah.
Well, we're done. Mate, this is what isolation has done to us here in Australia. We've joined TikTok. I'm listening to my 5-year-old instead of my wife, and things are going really well here, mate. I can't complain. But look, let's get into some serious chat. I know people last night were asking a lot of questions to Boovie and myself, and we had Johnny on the other day, and Johnny was very good. But the insight between like Australia and New Zealand, but we'll get that. We'll get onto that in about a few minutes' time. But I've got a whole lot of questions here, mate, that surround basically your early life in cricket. And a lot of people are wondering, like, who was your idol growing up? And you belong to a very sporting family, but what was the one thing that got you hooked onto cricket?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think probably a little bit like yourself and so many other keen kids that play sports. I played as many sports as I could, really. So basketball and rugby, which is obviously a massive sport here in New Zealand, and a little bit of soccer and a few other bits in between. But I was always just very enthusiastic about getting involved, especially team sports. And my dad played a lot of cricket, coming from a cricket sort of passion family, and so when the time came, as I got a little bit older through college, then you kind of had to make some of those decisions and specialise a little bit. So kind of came down to basketball in the winter and cricket in the summer. And then, and I guess I was fortunate to start sort of playing the domestic cricket, which kind of then took over, really. So cricket was always a real passion, but sport in general was definitely a real passion. It still is.
So you didn't think about joining the All Blacks, maybe, or were you not big enough? What was that? Did you play that at school? You didn't want to do the haka?
Natural selection kind of. Basketball probably wasn't a viable option either, basketball or rugby. I really enjoyed my rugby, actually, but probably more the age group, sort of weight limit, categories were where I was most effective, and then the guys got a bit big and a bit strong. But cricket, was something that I was really passionate about, and real hunger to try and improve, and still am hungry to improve. And fortunate to be playing against you and some other old greats of the game. So it's been an interesting journey.
Well, you made the right choice, mate, 'cause you're a pretty handy cricket player. What about the haka? Could you do that in cricket? Could you do that at the start? Is there a tradition that it's just football, or I know obviously the tradition's behind it, but in sport, is it just for rugby?
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, at the Olympics, Commonwealth Games, places like that, the haka's performed. But also when we played sport at school, a lot of schools had their own hakas. So, we would go to basketball tournaments and perform our school haka. Rugby, it'd be the haka again. But it hasn't seemed to happen in cricket too much, and I wonder whether it might be better suited to sports that ride on a little bit more adrenaline, because you tend to get a bit fired up and passionate, and then if you lose the toss and stand in the field for 2 days, it might not have the same effect. So, but
I'll be happy for it when Ross Taylor's gone. He's scary himself, especially when he celebrates his hundreds.
You'll get taught your school haka or the haka, and it's something that has to be performed passionately, otherwise it's not done at all. So there are, there's a lot of sort of heart and passion and meaning behind performing the haka. So when it's done, it's done with 100% effort. So that's probably why, maybe it's not suited to Test cricket, but maybe some of the other formats.
Just a true gentleman, mate. True gentleman. What did you ever imagine, like, becoming captain of New Zealand? Obviously, you've had some great leaders before you, but was it ever in your mind growing up to aspire to be a leader?
You never assume or expect to have the opportunity to captain your country, but growing up playing age groups, I was fortunate to captain some of those teams. In terms of the aspiration for leadership, I find that an interesting question, I suppose, because it's quite a selfless role. Obviously, as best you can, just giving to the team and trying to help the team track in the right direction, as you know. So, it's something that I think happened reasonably organically, and not something that I was I suppose, working towards rather than just trying to progress in the role that I have in the team. And like you mentioned, some fantastic captains to learn from. And then when the time came and I got the opportunity, it was, something that I was very privileged and humbled to receive.
Yeah, well said. I think a lot of people out there saying to Boovy and Johnny the other night that whatever it is in cricket, just keep following what you want to set out to be, whether it's a batsman, a bowler, or a wicketkeeper, or whatever it is, etc. And then all that sort of the captaincy tag, the vice captaincy tag will come along per se, because there's always a lot of questions that get asked, like who dictates who's a captain, who's identified as a captain. But from a young age, I think some people are probably identified as a potential leader. Because everyone was talking, the great debate is, why is your best cricketer always the captain? But it's probably not necessarily that, is it?
No. I mean, I don't think your best cricketer necessarily makes your best leader. But I suppose the captaincy role is a number of specific roles within that. And, I suppose, a part of that is trying to make the 11 and wanting to make sure you are in the 11. So then, obviously, you can try and lead in a way that is comfortable and authentic to yourself. So there's a number of parts to it. But like you say, it's a difficult thing. I don't believe that it should just go to perhaps a ranked player, but definitely look at the role that captaincy is, and who fits the bill is the right person.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if at the bottom of your screen you can see all these questions, but there's always a million questions that scroll up and down. But a guy was saying, how's your wool over there for carpet? Some guy called DT Carpet. I'm like, just stick to polyester. I have no idea what he's talking about, that bloke. Mate, all these stupid random questions. Some bloke asking if you like chicken nuggets. You've been a part of 3 World Cups, mate, and 3 2020 World Cups, and I think 2 Champions trophies. What does it mean for you to represent New Zealand for so long, and now that you're captain of the side?
It's a tough one. You don't tend to have too many opportunities, perhaps like the amount of time off that we have or forced to have at the moment, where you might think about those sorts of things, because as you well know, the international schedule combined with some of the franchise cricket around the world makes the focus just become the next tournament, the next game, the next whatever it is. So very rarely do you sort of sit back and think too much about the past. But I mean, I guess if you could rewind the clock and ask yourself as a young sort of budding sportsman, and whether you'd have the opportunity to play for your country, and you'd certainly never assume, and you're never to know until perhaps getting that phone call, and then much like yourself, the opportunity to play your first test match or your first international was just such an incredible thrill, to then entertain the idea of playing for 9 or 10 years or so, or whatever it is, or even a second game is kind of not really where your head's at. So it's an interesting thing to consider when you recall your first game and how excited and how new and fresh it was, and how fortunate you felt to just be involved, to be playing for a period of time. So I feel very lucky and fortunate to do what I love, and sort of see where the game's gone, really.